go. Let's pour that right in there. There we go. And we'll start our timer.
Ready.
Welcome back to First Coast Living, folks. Curtis Dvorak down here with Francine Segan, noted food historian, and we are at the Lightner Museum in the Alcazar Cafe having tea. Appreciate you joining me.
A pleasure to be here.
This is really cool. So what brought you to town?
I came from New York City for the Dressing Downton Abbey exhibit here at the Lightner. This morning I gave a talk on dining in the time of Downton Abbey.
Very cool. Yeah, this has been a popular exhibit since it's been here for the last several weeks, and we've talked about it. We showed it off a couple months ago, but you did a talk this morning, but you have a dinner tonight that is more around the food history and also the etiquette of the time, right?
We're going to be in this gorgeous setting. I mean, just look at how lovely this is, and imagine it tonight set with candles and everyone dressed just as they would be back in the turn of the century.
The Gilded Age, right?
In the Gilded Age, which was a term actually coined by an American author to make fun a little bit about how everything was gilded.
All right, all right.
But tonight, we are going to celebrate the fabulous food, what they ate and how they ate. Back in that day, everything French was so revered. Right. So we're going to have a very French menu.
And you actually, from what I hear, you found menus from 1905 from the Alcazar Hotel.
Right from here.
Wow.
And so tonight, when we're having dinner, before we begin, I'm going to talk a little bit about what it would have been like to eat back then. How would you have been invited? What would happen when you attend? Then I picked a couple of menus and feature one of the dishes. For example, there's something, oysters a la Dumas, for the famous author who wrote The Three Musketeers.
Okay.
And most people wouldn't realize he also loved food so much he wrote a book on food.
Very nice, very nice. Well, I have a book that I was given by my dad at a very young age. It's my Emily Post etiquette book, Elizabeth Post, 15th edition, because that's one of the things that is confusing for a lot of people is the etiquette. So you're going to be going over like the proper way to go through stuff, right?
Absolutely.
I never read this.
Like, you
Sorry,
didn't read
Dad.
any of it.
Sorry, Dad.
Like back then, it would have been not okay to put your elbows on the table.
Yeah, I never understood that.
Right? It doesn't really, what's so bad about this? You've got nice
natural.
arms.
It feels natural.
Yeah. You know what it comes from?
What was the reason?
An old etiquette book back from the 1500s when there were knights. And in those days, the table wasn't a stationary table like this. It would have been just a plank of wood on two sawhorses. So the etiquette for a knight who was big and muscular was, don't put your elbows on the table. Why? Because he was so strong, he might flip over the table. But if you were a delicate, lovely lady,
right,
you could put your elbows right on the table.
Well, that's really cool. And tonight's event, unfortunately, folks, I'm sorry, it is sold out because you are extremely popular and people want to come to this. So, but there is one more talk you're doing tomorrow about chocolate that people can still get tickets to, right?
Chocolate is such a fascinating topic. And so I invite everybody who missed today's Downton Abbey dining talk to come tomorrow. We're going to discuss chocolate. Where did it come from? When was the first time it was discovered? Surprisingly, it was 2,000 years ago. And for most of its history, it was just a drink and not eaten the way we know today.
Very nice.
And we'll do a guided tasting during the chocolate talk and learn all about the differences.
From one of the local chocolatiers right across the street here.
Yes, and then what's white chocolate, what's dark chocolate, what's the difference between bittersweet and semi-sweet, and learn about how it was made.
Well, you had me at chocolate, and we have some stuff here, and but that's really cool. Really appreciate you coming here, and I just want to, we're finishing up here, but your impressions so far of this, the Lightner Museum, the Downton Abbey exhibit, you've obviously seen it a bunch, but this is a really cool place. I mean, being in this Alcazar pool is pretty cool.
How can you come to a better place, a museum that looks like and is from that time period of Downton Abbey? You see the exhibit, the beautiful costumes that we got to see on TV, but then weaved throughout are all the fabulous treasures of the Lightner Museum so that you can see everything all together and have a fantastic experience.
Well, I'm having a blast here. Our tea is almost ready. It's lovely here. Every day here at the Lightner, at the Alcazar Cafe, they have tea. they have tea, and then our timer is up. They give you a little 5-minute timer there, and so I'm going to pour this. But really appreciate your time. Oh, look at that lovely color. Really appreciate your time, and for those going tonight, you are going to have a blast because Francine has a ton of stories, and I have had a wonderful time at tea with you, Francine. For anyone who wants to get to know you better, Frank, you have a website, right?
FrancineSegan.com.
All right, well, check it out. Check
Bon
it out, folks.
appetito.
Oh, thank you. Bon appetit. More coming up on First Coast Living. Again, head to lightnermuseum.org for all information on how to get tickets.
Cheers.
Can you say cheers with tea?
Let's say cheers with tea.
Cheers. We'll be back soon. Stick around. Oh, that's delicious.